The long and weary quest to turn lead into gold became an obsession for many looking to change the world. On the spiritual aspect of transmutation, a golden human was someone who had triumphed over the lurking power of evil. The basest metal lead represented the sinful and unrepentant individual who was readily overcome by the forces of darkness. But is there such a way to turn lead into gold? What does this all mean? Find out next on this episode of Decode Your Reality. And hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality. Today we're doing one on one of my favorite topics now, alchemy, the aspects of alchemy. This is Alchemy, Decoded. I'm going to digress, quickly say, these are just my opinions and expressions. You may or may not agree with them. That's okay. This is my truth. It may not be yours. I always ask, what do you see? But I can assure you today, I'm going to pop some navels. I'm going to show you some stuff that will blow you away. I'm not going to be showing you how to turn lead into gold or any of those formalizations. I'm not going to get too scientific on you, but these are my methods that I use for decoding Alchemy Decoded. We're going to be bringing in Chaldean numerology. Everything can be measured using numbers. The letters are tied to the numbers. We're going to be using true science. This is the modality that if you're not using, you're missing the biggest integral part of decoding in itself, because everything ties back to the elements. We are made up of these elements. Therefore, they can be measured in a laboratory, the atomic weights. And then, of course, to get a visual of what the numbers look like, we add in the layer of the tarot, and we can get the expression that way. And last but not least, you got to have common sense. I always say, most people don't have that. Not you, but most people don't have common sense. Now, again, you need to be using this periodic table. Get to know it. There's 118 current elements. There's the last one right there, and there's hydrogen, the first one. They all have atomic weights, or personalities as I like to call it. And of course, the number represents the protons, and then the atomic weight right there gives you the average of what the element weighs in a laboratory. Now, getting into this now. Alchemy, the word itself. I've shown this many times before. Alchemy is a 3-syllable word. We can break it down that way. But I found in my research that I'm doing now, and it's very extraordinary when we use single-digit numbers tied to the letters and break them down individually. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 letters in alchemy, and we break that down individually, and we start using the atomic weights and adding those up. You'll notice I have hydrogen twice, lithium twice, boron twice, and beryllium one time. But look at the number that it ends up being when you break it down through the atomic elements. 47, which is huge if you've been following my work. Tetragrammaton, White House, Georgetown, Washington, D.C. They all equal the number 47. Now let's digress. Alchemy as a total equals the number 22, master number 22, which is tied to the 0 and 22 card of the tarot, the Fool card. And this has a lot to say about alchemy turning lead into gold and coming out fresh off the block. Here's the Fool, not knowing what's going on in this world, no blemishes, no scars, just coming right out into the world, the Fool. Interestingly enough, when you take these two numbers, 47.078, and you divide them into one another, you get the number 60, which is tied to neodymium. I've shown this over and over, Great Pyramid of Giza. I'm going to get into that because the Great Pyramid of Giza has everything to do with alchemy. I'm going to blow you away when I show you this. I've shown it in another video, but I expanded on it. So here we go. Now, the power of the 47 and the 22, interestingly enough, 47 equals 47. It's very rare. You can go ahead and test this out on your own. It's very rare that you'll get a number that will equal it spelled out. So 47 equals 47, and then I wanted to throw in 4722 because that's what we're talking about. Remember, alchemy is 22, but broken down in atomic weights, it's 47. So we use those together. 47 equals 47, as I've shown up top here, and then 22 equals 34. When you break those down, reduce them in numerology, 4 plus 7 becomes an 11. 3 plus 4 becomes a 7, and there's your 11-7. It's embedded in the speed of light, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the convenience store, 7-Eleven. It goes on and on. You know the significance of that as well. And just for good measure, 22 divided by 47 equals 46. Jesus Lucifer equals 46. It's the mirror of the chessboard, 64 squares on a chessboard. And then if you add up 22 and 47, you get the number 69, which is the mirror of the 96. And I don't even need to go into that. And I'm going to go into it because that's relevant to all this as well. Now, again, the 22nd element is titanium. And for good measure, there's a song called Titanium. We're going to get into that as well. But look at the numbers it comes out with. 22. The atomic weight, the average atomic weight of titanium is 47. And we just talked about that right here. Alchemy 22, Alchemy 47. So, look at the correlate. These are direct hits, ladies and gentlemen. Direct. I'm not cherry picking. These are direct hits. And again, the Fool card representing titanium coming out. And remember, man, the last card in the major arcana is the World card. That's Saturn's card. And then after that, if you look at that card, you see the Fool on the other end through the Vesica Pisces. Moving into the Great Pyramid of Giza, I told we would get into the number 60. Let me backtrack. 47 divided by 78. Remember, this is alchemy broken down through the atomic weights equals 60. Well, the Great Pyramid of Giza sits at 29 degrees north and 31 degrees east. I've shown this over and over. 29 plus 31 equals the number 60. This is the reason why I'm certain that Neo was his name in the movie The Matrix. Look at the average atomic weight of neodymium, 144, as in 144,000. I can tell you right now that Denver, Colorado has the same total in their geographical location as the Great Pyramid of Giza. I know there's some significance. That's why the government has their base underneath the airport, 144. You can take that to the bank right there. Right there's your 60. Great Pyramid of Giza. Is it operating as a magnet? That's what neodymium is. That's what they're used for, to create magnets, 144. And when you break this down like this, now this is new. I'm showing this for the first time. When you actually add up the entire numbers, 29.9792 plus 31.1342, you get the number 61. I think that these numbers can fluctuate a little bit. They get lukewarm, they get cold, they get hot. But interestingly enough, promethium, which is tied to Prometheus, the fire that he stole from the gods, that equals 61. That also has an atomic weight average of 144, matching that of neodymium, which is very rare because most atomic weights don't match up like that side by side. Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza, this is what blew the cover off the wall. This is what will blow your mind. Now you're talking about getting into pi. I believe everything can be measured through the aspects of pi. It's a never-ending 3.141592. It keeps going on, and you can go to this website, eveanderson.com. I'll leave it in the links below in the description, but you can fool around with this. I've shown this time and time again on how to decode your name. If you haven't checked that video out, you can figure out what your name equals and go into the decimal places of pi. But look at what we're talking about here. Let's measure the Great Pyramid of Giza and figure out what we're talking about, because we're turning lead into gold right here. It's 440 cubits wide, and there's 4 of those because that's the base. So 440 times 4 is 1,760. The height of this thing is 280 royal cubits, and that's only once because it goes from bottom to top. So we have 280 and 1,760. 1,760 decimal places past the 3.1. I'm going to zoom in. You'll notice I get the number 79, which is gold. And then you go into the 280 decimal place, which is the height, and you get the number 82. Now, you can fact check this all you want. I'm not photoshopping this. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, the 82nd element is lead. So you're turning lead into gold. Now, is that what's going on? Are we going from top to bottom? We bringing the lead down and then turning it into gold as this thing is spinning? Because I can promise you, it may not be physical, but there's a circle inside this pyramid right here, and it spins, and that's the yin and the yang, which creates, or at least attributes to our reality. Haven't figured that out quite yet, but I know that's the case. This right here is huge right here. Right here, this is huge, convincing evidence right here. Lead into gold, the Great Pyramid of Giza, right there. You're seeing it perhaps for the first time, but go fact check it yourself. I think it's undeniable that we're onto something very, very big. Now, let's get back into the 47. The words lead into gold. which is what we're trying to do with alchemy, that equals 47, just like the word alchemy when it's broken down in its atomic weights. The best known goals of the alchemists was the aspect of transmutation. Transmutation as well equals the number 47, like White House, like Washington, D.C., like Georgetown. This was really, really interesting right here. We already talked about the lead into the gold with the pyramid, but let's break it down. Let's divide the 79 into the 82 and look at the number that we get. 0.96. Now, if you've watched any of my work, you know how big I am into the 96, the 69, the mirror of it. This is huge right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're seeing, because the 96 is related to the tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton equals the number 47, just like lead into gold, just like transmutation. I mean, I think it's pretty crystal clear. I don't know, what do you see? But I mean, I think it's, take the blindfold off. This is, this is so apparent right here. And again, that's why they named it Washington, D.C., White House. I don't know if the people that named these cities and these places, I don't know if they really had any help with this. I believe that there's entities behind the human being aspect that are playing their part and they're tying into these numbers. But I mean, come on, it's really apparent. Tetragrammaton 47, and when you break that down in its atomic weights, it ends up being the 96. It's also the 99. It can crunch up to the 99. I'm going to show that in another video as well because it's very broad, but the 96 is where it's at. Even when you ask this thing, how do you spell your name? I'm show this over and over. Come on, does it get any more apparent than there? 96. This thing has antiquity to it. It's been worshipped for centuries, as we're told. And Freemason equals 96. So what does that tell you? They worship the tetragrammaton. Like it or not, that's the truth. Those are the facts. Now, there was a song, I'm almost finished here. There was a song by David Guetta. He tried to have Katy Perry sing the song, but he ended up having this girl, Sia, or I don't know if I pronounced it right. But I wanted to throw this in because this one blew me away as well. These are the entire lyrics of the song that I pulled off the internet, and I have a couple things highlighted. It's 790 letters, and again, what's the 79th element? Gold. Kind of interesting there. But the biggest takeaway, ladies and gentlemen, is the total amount of numerology in the entire aspect of this song, the lyrics, 3,122. And when we broke that down into pi, going 3122 decimal places past the 3 point, look at the number that we got. I'm going to zoom in. The number 60. And I've already shown what the number 60 was tied to, which was the Great Pyramid of Giza, the location of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the geographical latitude, longitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza, which again is 144 for an average atomic weight. So is that what we're seeing? Are we turning lead into gold? Is that what the Egyptians were trying to do? I mean, these guys were case specific. I mean, they made it specifically this size, and now we're measuring it, gold and lead and the decimal places of pi. I mean, are you kidding me? It does not get any more apparent than this. And, hey, look, I'm going to flat out tell you, if you don't think this is the truth, then you're blind, because this right here is very, very apparent. This is my truth, and I get passionate about it. What do you see when you look at this kind of stuff? What do you see? What have you seen so far? Have you seen something that I'm not seeing? But I thought come on. This stuff, this guy whoever wrote these lyrics, do you think they were inspired by something? Just like they say the Bible was inspired by God? Well, come on. It ends in 60, and that's neodymium, which is tied to the Great Pyramid, which, of course, is turning lead into gold. You tell me, what do you see? I know what I see. My name's Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. Thanks for watching.